Hello students, welcome to our new chapter of the syllabus of EHFCV, that is Electrical Hybrid and Fuel Cell Vehicle. The chapter that we are going to learn now is the communications and supporting subsystems. Right, in this case we will see about how the communication inside the electric vehicle works. Right, there are a number of ECUs that are being used in the case of the electric vehicles as well as hybrid electric vehicles. So there have to be one network which controls all the ECUs, all the inputs and outputs of the sensors, and that will be controlled by a communication system that are being given inside the electric vehicle. So let's first start this chapter with in-vehicle communications. How the communications inside the vehicle works. Now this communication components has been divided in 4 different parts. It has been classified in 4 different parts, that is class A, B, C and D. Now the speed of the data transfer in the case of the different classes is different. Right, the class A has components which have the slowest rate in case of the data transfer, which means that when the input comes from any component, then the feedback will be given after a little bit of delay. Right, it is the slowest feedback given to a component. So in that we will keep the components which are not an essential component, which do not require an instant output or instant reaction. Right, such as you can see in the class A, we have given the components, that is power seat, power windows and power mirrors. Right, these type of the components which do not require the instant output comes under the class A, which is the slowest speed data transfer method. Right, in the second class, that is class B, it is a medium speed transfer of the feedback data. Right, in which when we get the input, the output will be given after some time or after little bit delay. Right, but it is comparatively faster compared to our previous class, that was class A. In the class B, we have kept the components such as the dashboard display, cabin climate control. So all the indications that are coming on the dashboard has been kept inside the class B. Now comes the class C, which requires an instant reaction. Right, the instant output is required in the components, such as in the components of the transmission system, right, the whole powertrain system, the engine system. Right, so we have kept the components of the vehicle dynamics control, the powertrain control, engine controls and hybrid component controls. All the things which takes the function or which has the function inside the working of the vehicle, of the hybrid or electric vehicle, whichever vehicle we are talking about. But those components which have a direct effect on the driving of the vehicle, that will require an instant response. So those components has been kept in the class C. So the components such as which comes in the powertrain, the engine components control, all this has to be the faster. And the last one is the class D, that is fastest communication protocol. Now it is actually a futuristic approach in which the fastest way will be defined and will be used in the component to get the fastest response of the input that we are getting from the sensors. So let's just briefly see what is the data transfer speed, or we can say what is the response speed in all the different classes that we saw. In the class A, the speed of the response is less than 10 kbps, right? We are all familiar with the kbps, mbps, all these things. We are using our internet at our home, so we know what this speed means. So you can see that the 10 kbps, less than 10 kbps, it will take some time, it will have some delay. So we have kept the components which do not require an instant response in it. So when we have to change the power mirror, or we have to open or close the power windows, it will have little bit of delay. You will not feel the delay, but it will have some seconds of the delay, right? It will have 1 to 2 seconds of the delay because of the lower speed, but you will not feel it because they do not require an instant response. The class B has the speed of 10 to 125 kbps, so it is a little bit faster than the class A. Next, class C is 125 kbps to 1 mbps, right, which is actually a pretty much higher value, and you will get the response within a second, right? It will have the delay of in the microseconds, which is required for our powertrain components, engine components that we discussed. And the last, that is a futuristic approach on which we are trying to get the data speed greater than 1 mbps for the response time, right, which is under development. Next thing is the control area network. This control area network, or we can also say CAN. Now CAN is an component which is being given inside the electric and hybrid vehicle, which controls all the electronic components of the vehicle. So CAN is mainly a heart of an electronic system of our vehicle. Any vehicle we are going to say, which is hybrid or electric, whichever vehicle we are talking about, the CAN is an main medium which controls all the electronic system, all the ECUs of our electronic components and the mechanical components which are worked according to the electronic input and output based on the sensors. So you can see we have also divided this CAN, that is control area network, in 3 classes, that is class A, B and C, that we saw in the earlier video, that is showing you the speed of the response. So in the class A CAN, you can see that the systems which do not require an instant output, such as windows, doors, driver seat, front light, alarm, driver seat and rear lights, right? So lights and the ergonomic components, you can say, which is given for the comfort of the drivers and passengers, has been kept into the class A. That all the things has been connected with one gateway. That gateway will supply the power of the CAN. Also, the main advantage of this CAN system is that it can directly give the input and output to all the components, right? We don't know which component can solve the problem that has been arised in the system. So what CAN does is that it gives the input to all the systems, and the required output will be sent by whichever component which can solve the problem that has been arised from the vehicle. The second class, that is class B, in which we have kept the dashboard, as we have discussed, in which all the indication lights comes. That dashboard is kept in the class B. Second is the climate control, right? The climate control for the different season, different climate outside, that has been also in class B, and also the radio system that has been given in the vehicle, if that is also kept in the class B CAN. In the class C, all the components which is giving its function, giving its value to driving of the vehicle is there. You can see IC engine, TX, ESS, EM, motor, that is generator, SCM, and last is the brakes, right? TX is our transmission system, brakes, that is been connected with the ECU. So we can see that all the ECUs of the different components are connected with CAN, and that ECUs individually are connected with our required or whichever individual component we can control. right? So this is how you can see that this CAN system or controller area network is being distributed, and all the things are interconnected with the help of the CAN, in which proper programming or proper coding was done. Whichever controlling method we will use, whichever energy management strategy we use, that will be already kept fitted inside our CAN, and that will give us the required output according to the requirement. This is also another way of representing the method of the CAN, in which we are not showing the classes, we are just showing what input and output are there. So you can see that the hybrid ECU, the main ECU that is being connected with our throttle and the brakes, which means accelerator pedal, and the brake pedal is connected with our hybrid ECU. Also the vehicle status, the dynamic steering commands which are being given, the AC, that is air conditioning setting, that is being given on the dashboard. All these inputs come in the hybrid ECU. From that, the RPM and torque will be defined by the force that is being applied on the throttle given to the engine ECU. The command of the on and off will be given to the clutch, which will operate automatically. The gear ratio will be given to the transmission system, whichever we are using. The amperage will be given to the battery. It will be given to battery, which will supply the required current voltage. Then the motor generator mode will be given to the motor, either it needs to work as a motor or it needs to work as a generator, will be given by the hybrid ECU. Also the torque in the motor generator mode will be given to our motor generator, and the required torque will be developed by it. The power flow, in the case of the power electronics of the ECU, will also be given by the hybrid ECU. And the last is the air conditioning ECU. So in the air conditioning ECU as well, the hybrid ECU will give the input, and according to that the required output of the temperature will be generated by the working of our air conditioning system. So this is simply how the controller area network, that is CAN, which works for the hybrid vehicles, right? And it is the main controlling device of our all the components. So in this video we saw about the controller area network, which controls all the ECUs of our hybrid vehicle. In the next lecture we will further see about this subject. Until then, thank you so much.